Hey guys, Nubkeks here, and welcome to a type of video I've never done before and don't really intend to do really much at all, but this is going to be quite a negative video. It's going to be kind of a bit of ranting, a bit of venting, but I'm going to try to keep it constructive as well. What we're going to be talking about is Hearthstone, specifically my perspective on Hearthstone as a returning player, very much a noob, and just what the game is like for me. So what happened was, one of my friends, he sent me a message yesterday and said, the new expansion for Hearthstone is out. You can get some new cards by, you get a few wins just playing it in casual mode, and then, get those cards. We'll do some videos together, and it'll be like a ton of fun. We'll just play together, and we'll have a laugh. I said, yeah, that sounds great. That sounds like great fun. So I went on to play it, and I have to say, earning these cards has been some of the least fun I've ever had in a video game ever. It's been incredibly frustrating. So I'm going to talk about why it was frustrating. I'm going to talk about, I googled it as well. I'm going to talk about some of the responses, and I'm going to talk about the idea of pay to win as well. Just to mention, the gameplay you have in the background, these are some of the games. I played some Warlock games first. They actually went pretty well. I think I actually won more than I lost, and that was fun. I really enjoy the Warlock class just in general. I enjoy the whole, pay life to draw a card mechanic and that sort of juggling things, and, your own cards hurt you. I enjoy that. That's fun for me, so that negated some of it, and we got a bit of luck. We still lost some games that were unwinnable. But in here we have the middle few games I played, which was on a Hunter. And they were fairly bad, I would say. And then I played some on a Druid, and that was just awful. So what I did was I went... I'll come back to the idea of pay to win. Let me just fill you in, because the gameplay's going on here. And I might have sped it up or something. I don't know how long this is going to be. But yeah, I went in... I knew that, I don't have any good cards. Okay, I don't have any good cards. I only have pretty much the basic cards. So I googled it before I went into this to give myself the best chance possible. I just googled what is the best decks you can build for each class with just the starting cards. So I went and I built, whatever was recommended by this person who was legend rank, which I assume is rank 1 or something really good. Anyway, I don't really know. And he said, this is the best Hunter deck. So that's what I'm playing with. It's whatever the deck that was recommended to me. Let me put this particular game in perspective for you as well. So, I played Hearthstone a bit when it originally came out. I've played almost nothing since then. I played a tiny bit of Naxxramas when that first came out. Haven't played any of the other expansions. I've popped in a couple of times to play some Tavern Brawls with friends. Coming into yesterday, I was also checking this out because I play a lot of Hearthstone, right? And in Hearthstone... not Hearthstone, sorry, Heroes of the Storm. And you can get the Hearthstone card as one of your mounts in Heroes of the Storm, which you can use. So I wanted to get that. You need to have 100 wins to get the Hearthstone card mount. So I was checking. So before I did these games, I had 43 wins in Hearthstone play and ranked modes, combined, whatever it is. 43 wins. To put this in perspective then, this game I'm playing right here, this guy who's against me, this Hunter, you can see he's got a gold thing around his hero power. I checked what this was. To get this gold thing around your hero, you have to have 500 wins in ranked mode. I'm being mad. My understanding is that the way it matches you in casual is it just compares win percentages, which is just crazy. But I'm stuck against this guy, and he's obviously outplaying me. I'm obviously making mistakes as well. Whatever. I don't care about that, but I just think it's crazy the fact that someone who has not played the game in 2 years, someone who has 43 wins total, could be matched against someone who has 500 wins. That is just in ranked mode as well. That's just insane. I know it doesn't mean that they're necessarily good. It could just mean they play an awful lot, but that still counts for something. Experience still counts. It's just crazy. So I was just very frustrated coming out of this. So this is an example of a game. We're obviously playing a similar deck, but his deck just has better cards than mine. His cards are better than my cards. And more importantly, he has a ton of experience. He knows exactly what he's doing. I've lost this game already at the point I'm watching back. I don't know, the game might be over because again, I might have sped up the footage. But, for example, in Heroes of the Storm, it would be absolutely ridiculous to match a new player against an experienced player. Now, I think there's probably a bit more room for skill and stuff in MOBAs and so on. I don't know. Again, I don't know. I don't play Hearthstone. So maybe you guys will disagree with me and say that there's actually more skill. I really don't know. And obviously, like, there is, like, a huge room for skill. But, yeah, I just find that bizarre. You know, like, maybe my understanding is, again, that in casual it ranks you against people with similar win percentage. So I don't know. It's possible that I did, like, decently or, like, fairly well, like, when the game first came out and everyone's playing with basic decks. People didn't really know what was going on. And, like, I'd played Magic the Gathering games before. I played a small bit of Magic the Gathering in real life, just with friends, really casually. So, like, I'm okay at card games. Like, I'm not awful. I'm not terrible. So, like, I guess I might have done fairly all right with that. But... oh, man, like, that... I don't know. Like, if it's taking that win percentage, like, I don't understand how it cannot factor in, like, experienced number of games played as well. Or just have some sort of matchmaking system. Like, in Heroes of the Storm, for example, you start off at, say, roughly 1,700 rating. And then, like, if you win a bunch, like, you go up a lot of ratings. If you lose a bunch, you go down a lot. And then the amount of rating points you get, like, decreases with time. So, for example, you know, on your first game, you might go up, like, 400 points. When you're up to, like, 10 games in, to, like, 50 games in, you might be going up or down 100 points, depending on your wins and losses. For example, like, on my account now with, like, 800 games played, and, like, the quick match in Heroes of the Storm, when I play a game, I'll, like, go up or down 7 to 10 points, something very small like that. It stabilizes. But, like, it's never going to match me against someone who has played, you know, I'd say less than 100 games. Like, unless they're ridiculously good, it's not going to match me against them. But more importantly, I think in Heroes of the Storm is just inherently much more balanced. That was one of the things that really frustrated me doing these games in Hearthstone, was that I'm playing against people, they have more cards than I do, they've got better cards than I do. Like, it's I don't mind as much if it's just they're better than me and they're kicking my ass. But it's really frustrating to go in and have the deck, if you'll excuse the pun, to have the deck inherently stacked against you right from the start, that they have just better stuff than you do. And this is the idea of pay to win, right? And I was reading some of the forum stuff on this, and some of the arguments are just hilariously bad. So, for example, you have people saying the game is not pay to win. You know, some of these top players, you know, top streamers have gone in with the basic decks and, you know, reached legend rank or whatever. Clearly the game is not pay to win. No, I'm sorry, you don't understand what pay to win is, okay? You like that, it's not saying it's impossible to ever win without paying. It's pay to win means that by paying money, you increase your chances of winning at the game. Hearthstone is pay to win. I'm sorry, but it is. You could also win by playing, sure. Playing a lot, sure. For example, I thought this was hilarious as well. I saw one guy saying, well, you know, if you grind for like 6 weeks, you'll start to be able to make competitive decks. I'm sitting here going, yo, like, I just want to come back. I just want to come and play a game for fun. I clicked the big play button. I clicked the casual button, which says it will match you with players similar skill for fun. I just want to come and play and have fun with my friends. And then, you know, if some dude turn around and say, ah, well, grind for 6 weeks, and then you can, you know, start competing with people who have, you know, good decks and stuff like that. That's just crazy. So pay to win, if you pay money, if you invest money into the game, you get an advantage. That is fundamentally what Hearthstone is. You know, go watch a Hearthstone tournament. Are these guys running the basic deck? No, they're not. They are using cards that you have to either play a long time to get, or that you could buy packs to get. They're playing cards that you have to invest a lot into the game to earn. They are not playing with the basic deck. Why not? Because the basic decks are not as good. And that's also the reason why they do these things, like, oh, top player, you know, gets to rank, legend rank with just using a basic deck. That's a big deal because it's hard, because it's a disadvantage. So that adds a lot of frustration. Like, to put it in context as well, I played some Tavern Brawl today as well, just for fun. And I had a lot of fun with that. I played 3 games, I lost 2, I won 1. One of the games I lost was really close. One game he kicked my ass, and then in the third game I won, you know, fairly decently. That was so that's like a 33% win rate. I lost 2, won 1. But I had a lot of fun playing those games because I didn't feel disadvantaged. I wasn't going into it going like, man, Like, he just, it's stacked against me already. I went into it going, all right, well, you know what? If he wins, it's because he's playing really well. And that's just not the case with just Hearthstone in general, and that's why it's frustrating. I've even heard people say, you know, you should play ranked mode, right? You play ranked mode. Don't play casual. You're going to get your ass kicked. Go play ranked mode. And just ignore the rank, and then you'll be, you know, after a few games, you'll start being, you know, put into games where it's pretty balanced. And that's absurd, you know, from a new player. That is absurd. Or I know I could go and I could, like, probably make a good deck for fairly cheap, and that's fair enough. But I mean, like, again, just from the perspective of someone returning, someone just hearing, oh, the new expansion is out, like, come on, let's, like, just play a few games, let's unlock these cards and play for fun. That's what I tried to do, and I did not have any fun trying to do it. Another thing on pay to win, right? Here's the Storm. Here's the Storm is also pay to win, not to as much an extent as Hearthstone, obviously, but it is nonetheless pay to win. If you gave me, so like I'm an experienced player. Here's the Storm, okay? Like I've got a good skill level. If you gave me 2 accounts, one like just brand new account, and then another brand new account with everything in the shop bought for it, and you said, all right, you got 2 months with each of these, you know, go like do as well as you can, I would have an advantage on the account that has everything bought for it, because that is access to more heroes. That means that, you know, choosing heroes drafting for that game, you know, in the draft mode, that's more options for me. You know, with the account with all of the heroes unlocked, I can choose like the perfect hero to fit into the team compositions, whereas I could be at a huge disadvantage. I might have just bad heroes that don't fit in if I'm playing with just like an account just from the basics, just picking up the cheapest heroes. Also, like, as you know, they tweak things with patches and stuff, the account that has all the heroes unlocked, I can just go and like I can play a hero, you know, the day that they're, you know, they're changed, and I can research stuff like just from the very beginning. I can say, okay, well, they just buffed, like, let's say, for example, like right today in Here's the Storm, as I'm recording this, they just buffed Rexar. I went in today, Rexar is actually free to play today, so maybe it's a bad example, but I was able to play Rexar and say, all right, yeah, cool, Rexar, okay. I get how he plays now, and I can, you know, play a few games with him and have a grasp of how he plays when I go into the next round. For example, they reworked like Illidan, Kael'thas, Sylvanas, a bunch of heroes, Gazlowe, a bunch of heroes. Like a month or two ago, I was able to go in and like play each of those heroes and go, okay, I understand how each of these works now, and that's an advantage I have because I own all those heroes because I played the game so much. That's not something I'd be able to do if, you know, you put me on a brand new account. I might be able to say, oh, well, I'd love to get a really good feel for how the new Sylvanas plays, but I can't because I don't have access to that hero, and I'm never going to have access to that hero within this 2 month time period, because that's not enough time to unlock them all. So that's like pay to win to a certain extent. But I think crucially in Here's the Storm, in quick match, it doesn't matter as much because, again, you just pick the hero you want and then it will match you, you know, with a thing that fits with that hero. It matters a lot more in ranked than it does in the casual game mode. But that's not the thing in Hearthstone. That's not the case in Hearthstone, I don't think. And yeah, I don't know. I feel like I've probably been rambling a lot, and I do apologize for that, but I was just extremely frustrated playing through these games. I lost so many games because they had better cards. It's just like going in and being like, I am playing from such a huge disadvantage. I'm playing from a massive disadvantage. You know, this is not fun. It's not fun. And, you know, that sucks. As a returning player, as someone coming back, just want to have fun, that really sucks. People on the forums, I know I'm probably going to get a lot of lashback for making this video, because I looked at it, I Google searched for, you know, Hearthstone, you know, new players or returning players, unfair, and I looked at all the results, and overwhelmingly, anyone who made any video or post like the one I'm making just received massive amounts of negative feedback. There were a couple that received positive feedback. Well, I say positive, like 60 or 70% upvoted on Reddit or on Battle.net forums. And the reason those ones were specifically formatted in the sense, hey, I'm a new player, I'm getting my ass handed to me, what can I do to improve? So like asking for help. or the other one was a guy, and it's funny, saying, hey, I started off this game and like I thought I was doing okay and I was getting my ass handed to me, and it's like now, like a year later, I have all the cards from all the expansions and I'm going up against, you know, new players with terrible cards. Now, what should I do? Because, you know, I'm kicking their ass, they don't stand a chance, and I feel really bad for crushing them. Like, what should I do about it? And that received from a lot of positive feedback. And it's fair. Like, the guy was saying, like, look, I was playing against a guy with a deck, and I knew that even if he played, like, even if he could choose the perfect order for him to get his cards with the deck he has, there's no way that he could beat me. You know, that was the kind of situation, which is just insane. So I know probably people react really negatively to this and stuff, but I mean, that's just how I feel. And I just think it's bad game design that, like, and I can come back to the game, I can click that play button, click the casual, apparently for fun thing, and I can just have very, very little fun in a game. I can have very little fun. I can go in and just feel that the game is completely unfair, that I'm being matched against players who have hundreds of games played, who have better cards than I do. And I don't know, I just don't think that's a good matchmaking system. That's not a good way to design your... It's not good game design. It's really not. And it's not like for lack of players to match me against. Like, when I went onto this, I had to queue for like a minute to get into the game because the servers were full. There were so many players on. You think they could find something a bit better. But anyway, I'm going to obviously play these back at full speed. That's like 3 games. That's the end of it. Won that last one. He just surrendered, which is hilarious. But there you go. I think I stopped recording during this game. Yeah, I did at this point. I was kind of just frustrated and bored and annoyed with the game. And it was just a chore to get through this stuff, to unlock these cards so I could do a video opening the card packs, so I could do some videos with my friends, with like showing off these new cards and just having some fun. And I mean, like, I could play in like Tavern Brawl or Arena or something, but I was like, you know, those things have barriers as well. I was just like, you think, you know, the thing you come back to the game, you see casual game mode for fun, you see, you know, just the big play button, you think you can click that and, you know, be able to do it, and you can't, and that sucks. Anyway, that's my big rant. That's my big ramble. Basically, yeah, that's what I think about that. I do like Hearthstone. I have a ton of fun playing Arena. I have a ton of fun playing Tavern Brawl, but I wanted to play just churn out some daily quests, just play some what I thought would be properly match-made games, casually for fun, just to get, you know, expecting like whatever 50% win ratio, and then just having a lot of not fun because of being matched against more experienced players, players with better cards than I do, when I am someone who's played less than 100 games of Hearthstone, someone who has not played in 2 years or 3 years or however long, I don't know how long it's been, who's not played basically since the first like the basic game came out. And that was my experience of it. Thanks for watching, guys. See you next time. Bye.